Okay, good day. I'm just checking on my hedge fund account. We've had a couple times where it came down to this purple line, this blue line here, and we were close to break even here. But Mark, hi. I'm doing a little better. I'm yesterday was pretty awful, to be honest. But today I'm grateful that I'm having a better day. Um, And I'm a little nervous about traveling, of course, as you can understand, but that's not till Monday. So, but just looking at the trading, the pound here, we're getting a little bit of volatility, but not a ton. It's seeming like the FOMC minutes are going to be kind of a nothing burger. I'm not sure if they have uh, anything different than what they were scheduled to do as far as with rate cuts. But it looks as though kind of wondering if I want to take the profits here and then get back in if it goes up. That's what I'm going to do. Should have done that before. Okay, we're starting to get some movement here. This is still a swing position. Um, I just the good news is that the $100 that I made the last couple weeks was taken out. This account was reset. So now I have until March 20 to either let this market come down, which I would have expected it to come down a little bit sooner here. This is the daily. Uh, but if it comes back up into above this pivot, then it's going to be up into here. And so I have until March 20 to kind of fix that trade if it does continue to go against us. And so at this point, being down as much as we are on it 1.3, I'm wondering if I should just close it out and then reposition, or if I should day trade my way out of this, like right now, like throw in a couple more trades. Now you can see that these two trades are still, I need to contact support about that. Those two trades are sitting on there that need to come off. But I'm still bearish on the euro and the pound. I'm still bullish the dollar for a while. Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna let that pound. In fact, I'm gonna grab another layer here, and then we'll see about day trading. Let's see. I gotta make sure that all my okay. Actually, I want to kind of a little bit lower here, down to that pivot. So I just added another. I took some profit on the pound that I had a little bit, and then just locked in $8.50. Not a big deal. Add another position, still short, and I'm just gonna do a little bit of trading on the euro here. I think I might come down. I haven't actually checked the yen in a bit. Okay, it's still up in this range. So it's going back and forth as well. The euro yen is making its way back to the upside, so we could probably go along the euro yen. Okay, but at this point, I don't think we're going to get a ton of volatility. I think just the fact that the markets are pretty priced in, and as far as what they're thinking to do in the future here. What's wrong with my charts? Thinkorswim. That's weird. Okay, just maybe throw on a couple of scalps here, but I don't want to go too heavy in case it goes against us, and then we can, I've got 20 trades on already, so, well, technically 18. Hi, Ben. Good to be with you. This is gonna be a short video. I'll probably sign off in about 10, 15 minutes. I've got to get ready for a appointment this afternoon. Um, Takes me a little bit longer to get ready to leave the house, and it's not a training appointment. It's a health appointment. Really trying to talk to everybody and figure out what's going on. So, plan is for this pound dollar to come back down. As far as what I see, the fact that yesterday, this pivot held, it came up, and we pretty much were watching it right at the top there. And uh, if you were in my trading room yesterday, let's take a look at that. We were selling this, weren't we? We were selling this move to the upside, and I was gonna add positions at each of these layers, and then this was my target. So I sold, I think I sold here first, and then we sold here, and that's the only two positions that I got. And I think it actually happened in this account here. Yeah. So on this account, we made 174 pips for 0.42 just on that very low risk trade from yesterday's trading room because we put our targets way down here, and those just, I think it was 3 and 3, just six positions, we made 0.42, very low risk. And had I been watching it, like I said, yesterday was kind of rough for me. I was pretty much in the bathroom all day and in the bathtub to help my bottom. But uh, I wasn't watching it. But the plan was to add at each of these price cycle levels and then have the target back to this pivot cluster right here. It was pretty much, I think I had my target at like 2620. So it was in between these two. It was in between these two price cycles right there is where we had our targets. And it was one of those times where it just came all right down. Didn't even bounce back up. So kudos to the short sellers yesterday. Did he really did oh, I guess it bounced up a little bit. And then this morning it's stayed within that range. So yeah, at this point, I'm still gonna keep to my short positions. I'm not gonna try to go long when it still is in a bearish pattern. It feels like it wants to keep going up. You can see how, it's making higher lows, right? But it's still holding these intermediate term highs, and it's making lower highs. So what is it doing? It's wedging. So really, I have no idea if it's going to break to the upside, but it's going to break to one side. It's coiling. If we look at the daily chart here, let's clear these out. If we look at the the daily chart here, it's it's gone up a little bit. It's in the steady upwards, but you can see the prevailing trend is still down, and it's kind of just been in this consolidation right in here. The last couple months, it's stayed in this price range, and so when it makes a move, either to the upside or the downside, I think we'll have a nice expansion. I think this consolidation coiling uh, meets for a boing, when you're pushing a coil, then it springs. We see that in the markets all the time. And so my guess it would be for the British pound, since things aren't going so well over there either, and then the fact that the US dollar's rate cuts are being delayed later than what they expected at the end of last year, a couple months ago. I'm fundamentally speaking, and then some of that commitment and trading report says a lot of commercials have been selling the pound and the euro. So that gives me a little bit of on the future side of things at least. And that doesn't the commitment to trade report on the future on the currency futures is a little bit hard because it's obviously not as much open interest on the futures contracts as there is on the actual the currencies exchange. So I mean, it could be showing as something that isn't there because there may be bigger players that are involved in the currency markets rather than the actual uh, futures markets when it comes to the futures contracts. But it does okay, and it is saying that there a lot of the and they have a kind of a bead on, I guess, more so what's going on, and so there's a lot more selling of the pound than buying of the pound on the futures contracts at least. So again, that's why I'm still still bearish on this, even though we've got some movement to the upside. Um, so when it comes to the all important account here, the hedge fund account, it's not very fun to see, certain positions down as much as they are, 94 pips, 71 pips. The thing is, we're able to manage that because of the small lot size. We're able to give a cushion, and it's really unfortunate that I had such a uh, uh, bad entry right there. You could zoom in and say, wow, that Kevin, that's very typical Kevin. You picked the bottom, but you were selling instead of buying at the bottom, right? But there's been plenty of times we've had selling at the top, and you can see I put a couple orders up here that did actually get filled by technology, but there have been times where that's happened plenty of times where that's happened, where I've gotten a really good entry and then it's come right back down. And that would have put more money in my pocket for this last profit cycle, but it really doesn't matter. In my mind, this for those of you that are doing this hedge fund now with Sean, it needs to be a new era of trading. And I was talking to one of my trading buddies about this the last week or so, with him getting his hedge fund approved. I know some of you out there haven't been approved yet, but it's still. I hear of people getting approved every single day, so it's they're working on it nonstop, and they're trying to get to everybody as they can, as fast as they can to get through and review and to make considerations and to figure out balances and all that. But so be patient if you still haven't gotten it. The thing is, though, we all need to change our mentality. This is a new era with Trader on the Street and Apiary with Apiary Capital. It's a new era. We want to make sure that we are taking advantage of this opportunity of change and to change the way we are trading. Now, that doesn't mean you have to change everything about, how you've successfully traded. But I would say that the vast majority of traders here with Trader on the Street in our community here, the people that I've worked with, the troubles and the struggles that I've helped people through and seen myself, that I've gone through myself, because heaven knows that I need is, I need my my advice as much as anybody, when I'm, having coaching sessions in these training rooms, but the main thing is there are certain behaviors that lead down to big losses. Okay. And most of those big losses that I've seen that people have shown me and people have talked about, they've, had a hard time with, because, oh, I did this and I know I shouldn't have done this. And now what do I do? I'm in this drawdown. The vast majority of the time, they could have been prevented. Now, some of them, are just, we're victims of the market. That's part of the risk. It's part of the game we play. But a lot of the time, it's something we could have prevented by being a little bit more disciplined, by being a little bit more aware, by being a little bit more patient, and and maybe even a little bit more humble, as far as, thinking what we could do and what we could accomplish. And so, I actually think we should have patience, humility, and discipline. We all need to be PhDs in our training, right? Be training doctors. Be a PhD. We need more patience. We need more humility. We need more discipline. And Mark says my big losses are from not following the process of getting greedy. I like it. Yeah, yeah. And the big losses, it's kind of like needing the hospital, right? You don't need a hospital if you cut your finger, chopping vegetables. As long as it's not really deep, you don't need to run to the hospital, as long as you don't cut your finger off, right? But, there are times when I'm grating the onion or the potatoes for my wife, and slip part of my finger across the grater. That could be, I could take care of that injury. I could take care of, a common cold. I could take care of a lot of other things. And then there's a time when, you know, uh, you're going to need some help to recover from it. And where, we basically do something that can be prevented in our training that sends us to the hospital, so to speak. And um, sometimes we don't even realize it, that we need some help. And so hopefully that's what, we provide, as far as that's what I'm trying to do through my training buddy system and through this P3 Method Krewe, is a sounding board for you, uh, and and also uh, a perspective and encouragement and inspiration and a reminder, even just a simple reminder of being in a room like this and saying it's just it's just better it's just better for you in the long run to stick to your rules. It's just better to stick to your process, right? We all need to have that outcome on our mind to know where we're going and to have something to shoot for and something to inspire us to help us to work hard and all of that. We need that outcome goal, but far too often that outcome goal gets in the way of the process. The outcome goal causes us to want more, the greedy, right? Or to hold on to a loser hope with hope that it'll come back. And then we go past our optimal risk and then, thinking that it's gonna come back, and then it actually makes it worse. I tell you, we can't allow that to happen with this new era of trading. We have to identify the optimal risk. You have to identify what that is for you. And what does that mean, Kevin? What does that optimal risk mean? Well, how much are you willing to risk today or on this particular swing position that I have? That if I did lose, if it did come up and hit my stop loss, if I did everything right, but I was just wrong on the market, and the market didn't cooperate. If that was, part of my process, and I stuck with my optimal risk, that I can come away from that knowing that's not a big deal for me to make back. I know that I can make that back. I know that my process will make that back, essentially. Not that I will make it back. Essentially, I know that my process will make that back. If I go beyond my optimal risk, let's say my optimal risk is 2%, and then I go beyond that and it gets to 5. So now I'm dealing with the pain of losing 2.5 of my optimal risk. I'm dealing with the pain of not following my rules. I'm now dealing with the pain of having a drawdown. I'm also having a pain of not being losing some confidence in my ability to follow my rules. That discipline. Sometimes that's the worst part. Sometimes it's like, oh, well, I know I can stick to my rules, but now do I even trust myself to follow my rules? Because last time I had the rules in place, but I didn't follow them. So how can I even know that I'll follow them tomorrow? You know? And so there's so many factors that come into play that you don't need to worry about if you just stick within your optimal risk. If you stick within your optimal risk, you avoid all of those extra pain points. You avoid all of that extra pain. You avoid all that extra work, mental stamina that is required, and the mental capital required to get yourself back into a good place and get yourself back into good trading. You know, we've talked about this in some of our buddies group sessions, right, Mark? As far as like regaining our mojo and regaining our confidence, and we can avoid a lot of that if we stick within our optimal risk amounts. And no matter what style of trading that you do, whether it's a swing trade or whether it's a day trade, whether it's a scalp, you stick within your risk and you'll avoid those extra pain points. Okay. And so my advice and counsel to all of you this week is again to recommit yourself to become to trade the way that you want to trade in the future, to become the future trader today. Meaning, I've got that PhD, and I could go back in time and see a time when I didn't have the patience, I didn't have the humility. That ego took over too many times. That ego of wanting to be right and wanting to make money right here, right now. And then I didn't have that discipline to cut it off when I was wrong. But now I do. Now I have the patience. Now I have the patience to let my trade see itself through or to get stopped out, and then the patience to work on another trade. And I have the patience to stay in control of my trading rather than just jumping on a whole bunch of trades wanting my money now. And now I have the humility to recognize that, hey, I'm not going to be right all the time. Most of the time, I'm going to be wrong. And I need to be patient with myself, and I need to be patient with the markets. I need to be patient with my process. And I'm going to be humble enough to step aside and let my process do the work. Meaning, I'm going to plan out my trade. And it's like yesterday. We planned out our trade over here. And there were plenty of times I wanted to add some more trades. It was slow moving. Was it over here? Oh, I think it was over. Yeah, it was there. So this was the trade. This was the trade yesterday. And did we have the patience to let it just work itself out? We did. We got in at this one to sell. I had a plan in case it went against us. We had a plan for the time that went for us. It was over here. Sorry, I was looking at the euro. This was the pound. So the pound, again, we had a plan if it would go against us. We set up the range, we set up the layers, and it was all within our optimal risk. It was all within the risk. Okay. It's not optional risk, it's optimal. Okay. It's not optional, it's optimal. I should make a t-shirt that says that. Risk isn't optional, risk isn't optional. It's find your optimal risk. Okay. And then we basically said, well, let's get in short. I think it's going to come back down, and I think it might test this area again. This uh, price cycle cluster. And if it goes our direction, we'll add at these levels, and we'll maximize some money. So we made 0.4% on just two of those layers that happen out. So we probably would have made an extra, maybe 0.2 or, maybe 0.7%. Maybe it would have made 0.7 had I actually followed through with adding those layers. Been watching the market. Fortunately, my health didn't allow it. But we followed the process. We made money yesterday, and then today's a new day. We don't have to worry about yesterday, whether it was a 0.3 or a 0.4 or point 1.8, or a -2. We could just move on from yesterday and keep trading our process. And so just have the humility to set aside, step aside, and allow the process to work. And if it works in your favor the way you think, and yesterday it worked out exactly the way I thought, we sold here, we could have sold here and here and here, and it would have made all that money for us. We made those two on about 30 pips on that one, 25 pips on that one. So again, we made about 170 pips on that very small, low risk trade. And then the discipline to stay in control of your trading. So again, here's the PhD. Okay, patience, the humility, the discipline. Okay, that's what we need. That's who we are. That's the trader that you are today. If that's how you want to, do you expect to be a better trader next year? Do you expect to be a better trader next month? Why not? I mean, you're not going to be a better trader next month if you don't do that today. If you don't see, okay, how am I going to be a better trader next month? What does that look like? Well, I'm probably going to have more patience. I'm going to follow my risk rules better. You know, I'm gonna do all these things. I'm gonna have more humility. I'm not gonna ego trade. I'm just gonna let my process do its thing. I'm not gonna worry about being right. And then I'm gonna have more discipline. I'm gonna follow that risk rule no matter what. Even if I've done everything right and the market goes against me, I'm gonna cut that off. And if I deviate from my process, even if I don't perform well, and then my risk gets to that -2% or 2.5, whatever you decide that optimal risk is for you. Once it gets to that on the daily return, you cut it off. Doesn't matter how you got there. I have the discipline to cut it off because I know that it's better for me to do that for the long run. There's going to be some pain in the short term. There's going to be pain for me to hit that red X right now, but I know that it's better for me in the long run. That's discipline. That's the discipline that we need. Okay. So tell yourself you're a trading PhD. Okay. We are all trading PhDs. And then this little hedge fund, what I would love to see is the group that we have right here today, Dorothy, Gao, Henry, Jared, Mark, Merrick, Shane, Vin, all of us. And anyone watching the recording, I'll record this. I'll post this recording. That, a year from now, we're all trading much bigger accounts and all making money because we've developed these characteristics: patience, humility, discipline, these trading virtues, I like to call them, right? And we've become the traders that we want to be today. We imagine that we're going to be great traders next month, next year. Let's act like it today. Develop those right now. Take advantage of the change, this new era of trading. Okay, I'm just going to keep hitting that home. And you can use my P3 method. You don't have to use my P3 method. You should probably be developing your own method with your own, you can add your indicators and add your entries and everything. Okay. Anyway, well, I've gotta get going here, folks. I again appreciate you joining me, even though we didn't do a ton of trading. But this has been kind of the change of my trading. My trading slowed down immensely, and I just want to stay in control. And even if I don't have a profitable month, it's not going to be because I got greedy and had a blow up day. And like I've had in the past so many times of throwing trades on, 50 trades on right now just to make a quick buck, a quick 1%, and then it goes against me and never comes back, right? And it goes against me and then I'm at my optimal risk, but I made a dumb mistake, so I don't want to lock in that dumb mistake. There's hope that I can recover from this, and maybe the market will come back, and then it turns into a minus 5%. That is not going to happen anymore. Okay. I've just committed myself. I just forcing myself not to overtrade this account and just to let some of these swing trades just come to fruition. And if they're wrong, then we'll pick up the pieces, look for another trade. We'll continue to focus on being profitable each and every month. But I think what's more important than being profitable each and every month in this hedge fund account is not to have big drawdowns. No more big drawdowns. Okay, no more. No more. Okay. All right, everybody. Appreciate you jumping in with me. Oh, Dorothy, yeah, it's been a while. Good to see you again. I've been having trouble getting back in this from the money. I'm so sorry to hear that, Dorothy. I wish you a speedy recovery from that, especially here in the wintertime. That's not fun. Winter time is already blah, and to be sick during the winter is not fun. I'm glad you're feeling better. Thanks again, everybody, for your patience and your good thoughts and prayers for my health as well. It's just strangely it's been getting worse over the last few months. You guys have been so great, and I'm still trying to figure out. So, um, yeah, we'll just keep on trading on, and we're gonna see some great things happen in the year 2024. I'm really excited for it. So, okay, wish you all the best of your trading today. That FOMC did give us a ton, but hopefully the rest of this week you stay in control of your trading. You show that patience, humility, and that discipline, and we'll just keep on trading on. Okay, continue to improve. Okay, wish you the best, everybody. Have a great rest of your day and a great week. We'll talk to you again soon. Take care.